Hello there and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Gainy Titan. So we're here on Prokhorovka. I decided to switch away from the British towards the end of the points where I was getting the free tank, just because I decided to play some of the German tanks for a while. And then when I got to the German tanks, I decided that now that I'm playing some of the German tanks, I might actually set the crews up properly so the crews will have proper Tech Tree home tanks. I'm going to the hill on Prokhorovka, even though I'm not top tier, and I don't have 6th sense. And I'm in a Panther, which doesn't actually have the greatest of armour. It's not bad armour, it'll bounce quite a lot of shots, but it's not reliable armour in the sense that you have a high chance of bouncing shots. People who know what they're doing and know where to shoot can put shots through the turret and hull of a Panther with great impunity, really, in my experience. Now, the main reason I'm going to the hill without 6th sense is because I think it's one of the few places in a tank like the Panther you can be useful without 6th sense. You get people that snipe at the back in Prokhorovka, but to be honest with you, I think sniping from the back line is a complete waste of time. The central ridge is just about at your render range, and stuff pops up and down there so quickly that the chances of hitting anything are look more than anything else. If you want to be useful on Prokhorovka, you've got to be either peeking that ridge and scouting, or you have to be under the ridge blasting stuff that's peeking the ridge and scouting, or you have to be on the western road either supporting the tanks that are advancing, or scouting or making the advance yourself. And a tank like the Panther would probably do well on the western road, but I wouldn't go there without 6th sense. I think it would be absolutely essential. The number of directions you can be shot at when you're on the field is pretty much infinite. You can be shot at from the whole width of the field. However, on the hill, you're only going to be really shot at from in front of you, or from the field as you get over to the northern edge of the hill. Now, we've pushed out here because initially it looked like there wasn't a whole lot of tanks, but now that we've pushed out, we've found quite a lot of tanks, and the Tiger should really be pulling back at this point. Same as I am. He's fighting multiple tanks simultaneously. As you can see, he's taking hits from multiple tanks. Now, I took quite a slap there, and that was from the Yo-Ho. So that is causing me to pull right back, because I can't really afford another one of them. So I'm going to pull right back to the ridgeline, get behind the ridgeline, get the bulk of the ground between me and the enemy, and just peek the smallest amount of tank over that ridgeline I need to get a shot off. And I get a penetration on the Yo-Ho. It's a start. And the IS has come right up over, and we've managed to get a hit into him before he gets wiped out. Now I'm going to keep back here. We've lost the Tiger because he was too far forward. Thought I might get a hit into the lower front plate of the Carnarvon, but he actually managed to turn it and angle it too steeply before I actually got the shot off. So, and we're losing tanks. We've only got 2 of us left now out of like 4. So a T-32 has joined the fray as well, and I bounced a shot off the turret of that, and the Yo-Ho just derps one into the ground. And he's turned his turret sideways because he's probably taking fire from the middle of the field, so I put another one attempt to put another one into the side of him. And now I'm on my own. So I do a quick check around the map to see who's with me, because if there was nobody on the railway line, or if the people on the railway line weren't capable of seeing what's going on the hill, I think I would have just attempted to fall back to the railway line like that guy behind me is indicating. However, since there are tanks in the railway line and they can see these tanks in the hill, I'm going to try and keep the tanks in the hill lit up. That is, I'm going to actively scout here on the ridgeline. They know I'm here, so there's no point in trying to hide from them. But I'm just going to peek just enough of the tank over the top that I can keep an eye on them, keep them lit up. I don't have to shoot them, I can let my teammates shoot them. And as you can see, it's paying off. If I died, for instance, by doing something foolish like poking out over that ridge line when there was all those extra tanks were there, like the Oho in particular, I'd have just died, and then my allies wouldn't be able to see what was going on here on the ridgeline. And the enemy might be able to break out of the trap that they're currently finding themselves in, as the sort of team is closing in on them from both sides. So I only took the shot there at the end when the Carnarvon was trying to make a run for it. That was relatively low risk. So now I'm coming back forward to keep them lit up. Took a quick snapshot there at the T-32, but that was into the upper front glacis and wasn't really going to go anywhere. There's only 3 of them left. But I'm still picking up the spotting ribbons, and if I play my cards right, I'll get a few more damaging shots off as well. Now that T-32 is coming up, but he's coming up towards us and pointing his gun in a different direction, so that suggests to me that he's pretty indecisive about what he's doing. With the tank destroyer coming up forward, I decided, well, I'm going to go for it. And he tracks the gun towards me, but he doesn't commit himself until I'm really past him, and I already put shots into him. So while he got to hit off, I managed to finish him off, and I fired in the direction of the Kraft Panther, but I don't think that shot penetrated. I don't see any damage ribbon popping up, and that's the game over. So how do we do? We have 11 penetrating shots and 17 assisted ribbons. Now those 11, a couple of them, 3 or 4 at least, were fire damage. So we get fire for effect, first class mastery, and we get 5 points, so we are top of the table. And we did 1400 damage and over 2.5 assisted damage, so that was a pretty good score, and I'm quite happy with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.